Hello, welcome back to another video. Now, I hope everyone enjoyed the weekend's football. I know I did. Some very good games in there. Without further ado, let's have a look at the weekend and see how it all went. So, we started this week's fixtures with the Berlin derby. People were bigging this up to be a fierce derby. The first time that Union Berlin have been in the Bundesliga. They faced each other previously this season. Hertha Berlin winning 1-0. And everyone was kind of expecting this one to be a really cagey match, a bit of a cagey affair, a very vicious affair. But Hertha in the end came in, swept it away, won 4-0. It was a very entertaining game to watch. Then we had the Freiburg versus Werder Bremen game. I didn't catch too much of this one personally, but I mean it seemed like a pretty stalemate of a game with Werder Bremen pipping at the end. Paderborn Hoffenheim. Now Paderborn, a good result for them, getting the 1-1 draw with Hoffenheim, meaning that they get a point, and them being at the bottom of the table, they need to pick up as many points as they can in order to give them a chance at staying up. Then we moved on to the Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayer Leverkusen game. Now, I personally thought that Borussia Mönchengladbach would maybe, put up a bit more of a fight in this game, to be honest, as many people were putting them as favourites to win. But Leverkusen just seemed like the better team. Kai Havertz coming in with yet another brace. That kid is absolutely smashing it. But yeah, by Leverkusen 3, Borussia Mönchengladbach 1. Then we had the Wolfsburg versus Dortmund game. This was a pretty easy game for Dortmund, really. Wolfsburg didn't ever put up too much of a fight. I mean, they played with two big target men up front, but they never utilised it. I mean, they didn't decide to just knock the ball up. Even though they had the target men, they were still playing the ball along the ground, and I was going to say they didn't take any of the opportunities, but they didn't really create any opportunities. And Dortmund, just with the skill and the players that they have, just came through and swept them away with a 2-0 victory. Now on to the second set of fixtures, and by far one of the most interesting games this weekend was the Bayern Munich-Frankfurt game. Now, it was all looking good for Bayern. They were cruising at 3-0 up. And then all of a sudden, from two corners, Frankfurt go and make it 3-2. And we have a game on our hands. And then, of course, after that, Bayern Munich went and slotted away another 2 goals, really bringing it home. And, a sublime performance from Bayern Munich, really. But a very entertaining game to watch. And I'm hoping for a bit more of that in the future. So then we moved on to Schalke versus Augsburg, which was on the Sunday, and really many people were considering Schalke to be favourites for this game, as really they should have been. They've been pretty solid all season, and before today they may have been hoping to push for some of those Europe spots. But I mean, Augsburg just coming through and picking up 3 very vital points for them, winning the game 3-0, and it's a bit of a trend. I mean, the results we're seeing this week, I mean, maybe apart from the Bayern Munich game, but all the away teams seem to be in favour at the minute, and that can be well said for the Mainz Leipzig game. I mean, this was like a training ground game. This was like a friendly. Leipzig just brushed aside Mainz. It easily could have been 6, 7, 8, 9. With the amount of opportunities that Leipzig were creating, maybe one to consider for maybe adding in a few more Leipzig options into the fantasy. But then we moved on to the Cologne-Dusseldorf game. Now, for 88 minutes of this game, Dusseldorf, they looked like the better team. It looked like a ruthless performance from them. They took their opportunities. They defended incredibly well. But then it came to the 88th minute. A little dinked ball into the box, and Cologne make it 2-1. You're like, okay, Düsseldorf can still see this one out. Cologne have only got a few minutes to score. Surely, for Düsseldorf, they're really fighting for their place right now in the Bundesliga. They need this 3 points. They're thinking we have to hold on to it. Cologne, however, have scored 6 goals in the 90+ minutes, and today they made it 7 with a goal from Cordoba in the 91st minute to make it 2-2. The game flipped on its head like that. Cologne come away with a point, which really you could say they didn't deserve. But if you're scoring 2 goals in a couple of minutes, well, you get you get what you deserve. But yeah, some very good fixtures this weekend. And let's take a look and see how that affected the fantasy. So we take a look at the fantasy here, and it was a much better and much needed performance coming in this week. Last week we finished on 74 points. If we take a look here, we finished on 122 points, and almost double our score really. A much improved score, and it was mainly down to a few players. We see Timo Werner came in with a hat-trick. That was absolutely wonderful. Only a couple of other people in the leagues I'm in as well captained Werner, so that really gave me a massive boost up the leaderboards. And Marcus Thuram, I said last week that I would have taken him out if I could. He came in with just a goal, but I mean, he's ticking by, getting the points. He got 11 points last week, 12 points this week. He really is just kind of ticking on. So if he continues like this, then there's no reason to take him out really. Then we have Haaland up front, bringing up 4 points just because they were the winning team and attempts. I mean, for a player to get 4 points and not even score, get an assist, it's okay. Can't ask for too much more. Haaland's obviously a guy though. You are looking for the goals, but the fact that Werner and Thuram came in and pretty much everyone else has Haaland. If Haaland has a good or a bad week, doesn't matter too much. Then we take a look at the midfield. Now, the midfield was probably one of the most disappointing parts of this weekend. Serge Gnabry was benched. Thank God I decided to captain Nkunku instead, because I heard about the news just before and decided to put my captain on really the safest option, the player I knew was going to start. Sancho didn't start. However, luckily for some, he did end up going and getting an assist, which meant he got 8 points from not even starting. Wonderful news. And then Nkunku didn't get a goal contribution. How, I will never know. The chances squandered, the balls he was playing in, the players missing, how he's not even come away from that game. A 5-0 game with even 1 goal contribution. I don't know. But he still got 8 points, so can't complain too much there. Then we go to the defence. It was a big shame really to see Angelino not starting, because, I mean, in this game where they beat Mainz 5-0, he easily could have come away with some attacking returns, and just in general it could have been just a simple 10 to 15 pointer from him. Then we came in with the big man himself, Hakimi, brought him in this week, captained him, he got on a goal, the clean sheet, all the passes assisted, the attempts, putting him on 29 points with the captain. That was a superb performance. Can't really ask for much more, and definitely boosted the rank upwards. Then we came to the Cologne Dusseldorf guys. We've got Zimmerman, Katterbach and Horn, who played it was Cologne versus Dusseldorf, as we mentioned. And those last 2 goals, Zimmerman was doing very fine. He was on about 8 or 9 points before Cologne decided to score those 2 goals. So, that's a bit annoying. If this game had have ended 0-0, I'd have been very happy. But still, to get, 4 points for Zimmerman, 4 points for Katterbach, and 3 points from Timo Horn, without even a clean sheet. For players who, they're pretty cheap, they really allow me to get the big guys in there, like the Gnabry, like the Werner, like the Sancho. For those guys to come in with, just 4 points each, that's wonderful news. And yeah, totaling 122 points, a much better week. Let me know how you guys did down in the description. I'm a happy bunny after this week. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.